Hello and welcome to episode 3 of A Sim Racer's Dream, where we're going to be heading to Croft Circuit in North Yorkshire for my home race in this British Formula V Championship. But before we get into that, we had this email at the end of last episode which gave us a couple of options. We could either go for a sponsorship deal, or we could go for a test drive and maybe try and get in with a manufacturer. The actual comments seemed a bit 50-50 on which option we were going to go for. Perhaps I didn't make it clear enough at the end that you could vote for those options, so that's my bad. I'll try and make it a bit more clear in the future. But yeah, since it's 50-50, I guess I have the overriding decision. And I think we are going to go for this sponsorship deal. It's going to help us, at least in the short term, be more attractive, especially if you want to get into Formula 4 and those next level of categories. So this is the car they've given us. It's the Aston Martin DBS from 2012, I believe. One of my favourite cars, so it's a joy to drive this, and we're going to be driving it around the Pudsey Street Circuit. If you've seen some of my other videos on this channel, you'll know this is my own little test track. The mods from I think Assetto Club, I'll leave a link in the description, and yeah, we're going to set a lap time round here then, and we have quite a few times on the board already, so this is going to add to it, so a little bit of a kind of side project I'm sneaking into these episodes, so we'll see how it does. Here we come then into the first corner, this big roundabout, getting it right down into first gear. As we get on the power nice and early, get the car round, nice traction control and ABS in this road car, so that's going to help us out with the grip and the driving. So we go on to the B road then, we're looking for the signpost on the left, we can brake about there as we go down into second for this tight left-hander, and we bring the car to the left then, and we're looking for an apex on the right, and this brings us into the Asda section of the track now. There's the Asda, braking for Asda 1. Car understeering a little bit there, and now we go right down to first, mounting the curb a little bit, which you can do in these road cars. The race cars don't like them as much, but it's another tight left-hander here for us then, onto the left-hander, around the Petty Station to us left, there it is, flat out then down this B road, and this is going to be a good test of the car's power and its grip as we go to the right and then swing it to the left, taking a narrow line as we possibly can, braking at the guardrail on the right hand side into the junction then, and we can bring it down into first gear for this final corner onto the start finish straight. So we're going to merge back onto the A road then, and then we just keep us foot planted, looking for the yellow lines on the road. That's where the start finish line is on this circuit, and yeah, let's see what time this thing does compared to some of the other cars, and it's a 1:39.5, not a bad little lap for the Aston Martin DBS, beating a couple of race cars there. But anyway, let's get on to the main event.
Radio check.
Spotter, radio check.
Alright, here we are then, coming for his flying lap at Croft. Here we come down the start-finish straight. Now you don't have brake marker boards, you have these kind of, I don't know what they are, but you brake at the second one-ish, and then you can throw it in. This corner here, really slippery. I think there's a lot of camber on that corner that doesn't really come through that well in the game, so it's tough to know when to get the power down, but you can just keep it flat through that kind of threading the needle through that almost... I guess it's a chicane with a really tight exit. We might see a couple of incidents there in the race. This corner's really important, this right-hander. Again, I think there's a little bit of camber there, just on the dark patch, and you can see just a touch of counter steer there. It can really spit you out in that corner, so you've got to be quite careful going round it. But you're flat here then through this entire section, and that's why that corner's so important. You need to get the best exit you possibly can to really maximise the amount of time you can gain on this kind of long sweeping flat section. A bit of a break then as we go into the first right-hander and kind of keep sweeping to the right, and this last sector I really enjoy. This is one of my favourite bits of track, this, as we brake, throw it in to the long left in third. Brake just at the end of the curb, tuck it in nice and tight. Again, very slippery there as you get the power down into the final hairpin. Looking for a bit of a late apex here so you can get the power down nice and early onto the start-finish straight once again. Really enjoyable track. Maybe I'm biased because it's in Yorkshire, but yeah, really fun lap. And that time's going to be good enough for P6. And I did a couple of other laps, but that was my quickest one. But by the end of it, we're actually way down the order in P16. So I thought that lap was good enough to keep me up there. I went off to go and make a drink, and I came back and P16 at the end of qualifying, so my bad there. But yeah, it's going to be tough then. So P16 on the grid, let's go to the race. So we're going to have to charge through the grid if we're going to want to make up any positions, as the 6 red lights in the Seto course go out. And here we are going racing at Croft for my home race. Immediately I see a gap, so of course we go for the gap and just keep us foot straight down. We're not stopping for anything. If there's a gap, we've got to go for it. We've got to get to those points positions. So we come into the first corner side by side. I have a bit of a twitch, but managed to keep it in check. Coming nice and tight into this first corner and re-get the position on that car ahead. Yellow flag there. And as everyone kind of slows down a bit, not me, I'm keeping my foot straight down, as it looks like these cars in front are held up, and we're just going to carve our way through these guys as we get an insane run right up in the points there, up in P4, nearly a podium. But I make a bit of a mess of this corner as we drift it round, and the guy in front, I think that's Bingham, manages to get the position back on me. So we've just got to try and limit the damage now from that poor exit. The cars in front are definitely going to gain on me through there, but we managed to defend his line well enough, as the car behind just got a twitch, and we've got a little bit of space here. But this is the last sector. I seem to be a bit quicker than the AI through this last sector, so if we're going to make any moves or make any positions, this is the sector where we've got to do it. As you can see, we're gaining back on Bingham now into this long left-hander, down into third, and throw it in, get really tight on this right-hander. Watch the bump, as that can really upset the car. Very easy to spin there if you're not careful. Onto this final hairpin then, and we get on the power nicely and chase Bingham back down, see if we can get back up into P4 and maybe another podium. That'd be nice, especially in my home race. But yeah, let's keep going then, on to lap 2. Once again coming into this final section of track, my favourite bit, and we get a nice little run here, coming off that right-hander into the left-hander, really keeping my foot down as long as I possibly can. It's all about momentum in this car, as we're gaining into this right-hander then, as we brake for it, and I think he just gets a bit of a twitch over the bump. And we're going to see about making a move. We're going to put his car to the inside. I think it just spooks him a little bit as he goes off way wide. We're going to tuck inside and go underneath, and we'll get the better exit onto the start-finish straight. And as we come then into T1 then for this next lap, we have the track position. I'm going to pull to the right a little bit to go defensive.
Hold your line, clear right.
And hopefully that should keep Bingham at bay. As yeah, we get the move finished and done. Coming into this first section, a bit tricky around here, but I think I am a little bit quicker than most of the AI. There is a bit of variance in the AI's difficulty, just to kind of make it a little bit more immersive for different drivers and different speeds. But yeah, moving further on into the race then, we were catching the next car. I believe that's O'Brien in P3. We were catching, and as we come on to the end of lap 4 then, you'll see we're right on the back of O'Brien now, possibly in slipstream range, but we gained about a second on O'Brien there, so we really are getting the hammer down, setting better laps than we were in qualifying actually, so maybe I should have done a few more quali laps. But here we are then, coming on to the end of lap 5. I'm really on the back of these guys, but the bump catches me out, and it's a mistake. We absolutely bin the car, nearly get a penalty, which is a bit stupid, as we try and get it turned around as quickly as possible, trying not to hold anyone up. teams were demoted down to P7 after that pretty stupid mistake. I knew that bump would catch me out at some point, as we just carried too much speed, and as we went over the bump, the momentum of the car it just sent the rear round. But we managed to get a better exit out the hairpin, going side by side with the Chinese driver, Jing there. As we go side by side into T1, I take the line, get a bit of a wobble, but we go side by side there, making contact, and we're off again, turning into an absolute disaster. But the car we were fighting there, Jing, actually kind of veered back onto the track, and that slowed down the cars behind us, so somehow we managed to hold on to P6. A bit of a miracle, really. But we're on the final lap then, still in P6. We managed to hold off the cars behind. Coming into the last sector then, the second to last corner. Are we going to get caught out this time? Yes, we are. But this time we managed just to keep the car in check. And we managed to keep it in one piece. We've got to fight for his position around this last corner, really getting the elbows out. Not letting the car in front of the car behind us, get in front at all, not leaving any space. And there we go then for the finish of the race in P6. A crazy race, some terrible mistakes there, but we managed to just hang on to some points. And so there we go. This is what the championship looks like then after our P6 finish. That should be on screen for you now. And there we are, P4 in the championship. There I am with my proud Yorkshire flag as my nationality, because Yorkshire is a nationality according to me. Anyway, so yeah, that's how the race went. A couple of emails then from the sponsor event we did at the start of the video, just from as new sponsor, saying that they're happy, that they accepted and that kind of thing. But here we have an email from our agent again. So here we go. Hello, Jord, as we head to Scotland for the next round of the championship. So we are at Knockhill next round, which is in Scotland. We've had a couple of offers for test drives before the race weekend. Another missed space from my agent. Really need to talk to the agent about the grammar and the typing there. But anyway, let me know which option you think would be the best. So we have option 1, the Loco Energy Rally team need a driver to test their Peugeot 205 rally car on one of the rally stages in Scotland. It's a new upcoming team looking to race in Europe next season, so it could be a good opportunity to break into the continental stage next season. And for option 2, we've been invited to test a Radical SR3 Cup car at Knockhill. Rumour has it there's been a few issues with one of the drivers this season, so this could be a good opportunity to secure a seat in a higher level championship next season. So yeah, thinking about next season, we could possibly be going into Europe with the rally team if we put on a good show there. Or of course we have the SR3 Cup, which is kind of like a mini prototype, so close-ish to a Formula 4 car. Not exactly Formula 4, but I think it would be a good step forward for us in his career. And remember, we only have one race left on our current contract as well. It were only a 3-race contract. So yeah, let me know which of these options you think would be best down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know which buttons to click, and I'll see you all in the next episode.